Welcome back. Black Americans make up roughly 4.7% of Colorado's population, according to the U.S. Census. Well, this month, Black community leaders across the state are holding conversations about issues facing Black Coloradans and how to help increase social equity in our state. And joining us now is John Baliey. Thank you so much for being here with the Colorado Black Roundtable. So I want to ask you a little bit about the annual Social Equity Summit that's coming up. Tell me a little bit more.
Well, it's an opportunity for the Black community, as well as all citizens in the state, to come together and to sort of talk about some of the issues and concerns that are impacting the Black community that in fact impact Colorado. And so we're looking at many areas, but especially diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we're adding a bit of history to the conversation this year because we're also, one, identifying African Americans who have made significant contributions in business, African Americans who have made significant contributions in politics and education, as well as faith leaders. And then we're recognizing and donating and dedicating the Roundtable Summit this year to 4 African American citizens who just passed away: Tom Robinson, and Sarah L. Muhammad, Reverend Leon Emerson, and Alfonso Porter.
Now, different days, different topics, I think is kind of where we're going. Can you tell me a little bit more about some of those topics and kind of just why they're important, just quickly?
Well, the diversity, equity, and inclusion piece is important, and that is the overall theme. But say on Thursday, for example, there'll be conversation on how to do business with the city. There'll be conversation on how to do business with any of the other entities, whether Denver Housing Authority, DEN, the state of Colorado, Xcel Energy. There'll be conversations with Black business leaders and corporate business leaders talking about diversity, equity, inclusion, how we can do more. And then there's an opportunity to recognize folks in the evening that have made a significant contribution to DEI in the state. Secondarily, we're dealing with the whole question of youth and gang violence. So we've invited the Attorney General to come and give some remarks before we have a continuing conversation on youth and gang violence, followed by a conversation on equity and how we look at that in the philanthropic space and the business space in terms of making resources available to a community. And then we'll look at the community recognized conversation, trying to identify new folks in the city or folks who've gotten promotions, the new head of Iliff Theological Seminary, the new superintendent of schools at Aurora, the new president of Aurora Community College, the new chief equity officer for the city of Denver, the new chief operating officer for the city of Denver. So a number of folks who've made significant contributions and who are new to the city. And then on Saturday, we'll do our Gaining Ground, which looks at all of the, what we call quality of life issues, be it education, be it public safety, be it business, be it cannabis, be it housing, be it the Black family. And we have stakeholders and experts who are coming to share with us their expertise and background. And then we'll end the day off with a candidates forum looking at Denver School Board candidates and the candidates for Aurora City Council.
Some very important conversations, but also not just kind of the high level, but actually specifics, like you said, how to do business with the city, how to do business with Xcel, and talking to and with people who have found success in those realms, really things that people can walk away with some actual concrete, not just evidence, but ideas of how to move forward.
Well, the idea piece is important, but what is just as important is the demonstrated commitment that is exemplified by the behavior of corporations in our state, of community organizations in our community. And so it's very important to make sure that not only do they walk away with ideas, but they walk away with something that allows them to figure out how to network with some of the stakeholders that they've met, identified, that are saying, hey, come help us. I mean, one of the real significant issues here is that we have to stop acting like somebody owes us something. The first theme of the first day is Kuji Chakalia, which means self-determination. So it's about who we are, who we think we are, what we do, how we create. And so here's an opportunity to bring a lot of folks together, educate them, instruct them, give them an opportunity to voice their opinions so that we can figure out how we look forward, how we look back, and move forward.
And move forward as well. Well, some very important discussions to come, and we want to make sure that everybody knows all the details. The Colorado Black Roundtable Annual Social Equity Summit. It goes from October 19th through the 22nd. There will be discussions about things like we just mentioned, public safety, mental health, housing, and more. For more information, you can contact John Baliey at the number there on your screen, 720-629-0964, or you can email johnbailey062@gmail.com. John, John, thank you so much for that very important conversation. Really appreciate you being here.